A statesman says what is right. You'll stand on what is right even if you are just alone. You said, no, I'll speak and live for principle. Not what people want to hear, not to praise. No. What is right? That's the difference. You said that from the outset. When you compromise on your way up, in whatever area you've compromised, in that, it will own you when you get up there. You've got a hook. That hook has started you early. So as you go, it's like, the devil is saying, mutekemo my hook. When you get there, you can't stand and say, how can you shout? This is how you, first of all, you're using wrong papers. Are you sure you, in S4 you were Mugoya? So you can't talk about that because you compromised on your way up. And when you get up there, you cannot challenge anything in which you compromise. That's why living by conscience every day becomes so important, that you are able to stand and have confidence. People who have that fear of the Lord, they're so confident they can challenge anything because they have no skeletons in their wardrobes. They can stand up for whatever is right. Look for anything against them and you'll not find it. They are able to stand. They can challenge anything. Right has power. Truth has so much power, it can defeat armies. When you're standing for the truth, it can defeat armies. People who have armies and what? Truth has power. We call it fallacious authority. That authority you have by living for the truth, that fallacious authority supersedes all the armies that this God can generate. So that is the spirit. I felt I should emphasize the part of the heart. That's how you get the moral fabric of a society. So where you have leaders in the society who live like that, they inspire people below them. If you live by self-sacrifice, that's what your people will do. Look at Jesus. The disciples lived with him. They saw how he lived. So that after he died, why would all of them die by being, apart from John, all of them were crucified, because they were following their leader. He set a very, very high standard of self-sacrifice, of moral aptitude, so that's the level that the followers followed, the disciples. When Peter was being crucified, he said, I can't be crucified like my Lord. You put me upside down. All the other, even Thomas, whom you always laugh at, the unbelieving what? Thomas, he died in India. They started cutting his feet. Do you still believe? He said, yes. They cut up to he said, yes. Then they cut the hand until they finished him. He said, I still believe in the Lord. All of them died like that. How could people die like that? Because the leader set a very, very high degree of self-sacrifice, self-discipline, living for the truth, living a transparent life. That is what you as a leader will do. You will inspire people more by your life than by your position. There are 5 levels of leadership, but the first one is just position. So you always have to use your authority. Now that I am this, you must do what I say. Now that is authority, is good, but that's a very low one. Jesus didn't have an army, he didn't have necessarily a position, but because of what he was, you were all ready to follow him because of the high level of discipline, morality. That is what God wants us. The more you influence people by the life you live, the greater your quality of leadership. It's not just by speech. Those people who complain. Now, because they are complaining, we don't see anything in you. This is nothing. But when, do you know that song? Who sang it? Butcherman. Hey, he was complaining. Because some of you like that song very much because you're always telling people and you have to shout to them. If you always have to shout to people, that means the content is empty. So you are only using the what? The positional authority. Positional authority is a very, very low level. When you raise the level of morality, the character, self-sacrifice, living by the truth, you are raising the level of your leadership. And the impact you have on people is tremendous. Okay, so now we go to the hands. Competence, skills. These are very important for any leader. You may have gifts, highly talented, but if you lack those skills, that's why God normally, when he's training people, he takes them through a lot of time of training so that they gain some skills. David was anointed when he was only 15, 16 years. It took him another 14, 15 years to actually become a leader because he needed those skills. First of all, he had learned the shepherding skills in his father's house, where you take care of the little, of the vulnerable. When a lion came, he fought it to protect. That is a very, very big issue of the heart. When the bear came next time and took a lamb, he fought it. So his value system was growing. But then he needed other skills, leadership skills, administrative skills. He also had gifts of music, of art. He made so many instruments, which were not there before. So a leader has many, many gifts. But God always ensures that you as a leader, you are able to blend these gifts together with the skills. Because if you only have gifts and you don't have the skills and the character to go with it, you may get to a position, but you cannot remain there very long. Why? Because you lack the character. The character has to be able to sustain you in the position of leadership that you have. If you've not developed the character commensurate to the level of leadership, you fall very quickly. The English people have a saying. They say the more the monkey climbs, the more it exposes its what? So when you are still down here, nobody sees. But as you climb, these issues of character you neglected start to show very easily, very quickly, very powerfully. So that's why the character and skills are very important. Competence, skills, some are vocational, others are professional. Skills of excellence. You decide, I'm going to do things with excellence. Simple things. As I said, you start with small things. I'll be a man of my word. If you give me money and I buy something, even if I get it, you give me, the price is 10,000, but you've given me what I've been able to negotiate, and I got it at 8,000 shillings. I'll take back the balance. Taking back the balance is a big test. If today you can't take back the 2,000, will you take back if they send you to China to negotiate on behalf of Uganda? Huh? If you can't take the 2,000 now, you can't take that balance. It starts small. People who are stealing big, they didn't start like that. They start in those small things, taking back the balance. Being truthful in the list, that is integrity. Integrity comes from the word integer. Integer is one. You are what you are. You inside and outside. What you are is what you speak. What the people see outside is exactly what is inside. There is no duplicity. You are who you are. When people look at you, exactly what they find is it. That is integrity. Integrity is character. Yeah? So you start with those small things of excellence. You decide, I'm going to do everything I do with the skill. Just making a shopping list. I had a lady who trained me. She was very complicated. She was called Florence Rubega. She was the first woman in Parliament. She would always make me go make a list of shopping. If the line just went like this, she would tear it up, go and make another. The lines should be straight. On the left and on the what? On the right, the figures, the zeros, should all be aligning on the what? For me at first I thought, oh Makazo, no. So she would tear it about 3-4 times until the left is all lined up. And then the right, at first I didn't, but later on now I look back in retrospect. I see she was a woman of excellence. She's trained in Oxford University. She went there twice, came back, was the first woman in Parliament. And she told me one day, you are complaining what I'm telling you. But that's what makes great leaders. Great leaders, no. Have you heard of that word? Kana akorachi? When a nation starts with Kanagwera Mweyo, everybody, you come in a meeting supposed to be 8, and you come at 8:15. No problem. That's not very big. I'm still within the hour. You start that little, slowly, and it becomes part of you. I'm still within the hour of 8. Now, you imagine if all of us start to do that, that brings down the quality of our companies, the quality of our industries, because Kanagwera Mweyo. Have you seen that? Do you feel bad about it? If you don't feel about it, something you don't feel about, you can't change it. You'll just fit in. You also be part of it. You come with a different quality. You decide for us, during our time and regime, we'll keep time. People will know. You have invited the guilty president? Be sure. What time did you tell him? 9 o'clock? 5 minutes to 9, he'll be here. Say, that guy? If he tells you 9, if he doesn't turn up at 9, you know he has had an accident or he has died. So the people start to know that is your what? Your standard. And you set it until people start to know. Because exactly what you tell him is what he'll do. You see, that is the quality of leadership you want to provide for this nation, and that is exactly what you start from the outset. That means you are able to go to say no to your appetites, to your, you wake up because I want to keep time. I'll make this my value, keeping time. Being excellent. When I do a report, I should be able to, if I write a letter, it has to be, those are simple things, but that's what makes great leaders. Many people say, the devil is in the details. Have you heard of that talk? The devil is in the what? Those small things which you overlook is where he comes in and sinks and kills the whole thing. Be it an event or what. Now, when as a nation we start to go down on those values and standards, everything becomes nagare. So you go to the hospital, somebody who slept with the key is not here. We sit until the court. You go to the court and you sit until 11. Have you heard of some of these experiences? Sometimes you feel so bad. You know, this is when the office is supposed to begin. If you're coming in as leaders, you must come with a totally different set of what? Standards. You set it now. You set it within the guild now. You say, hey, guild meeting is 10 o'clock. I expect everybody to be here 5 minutes to what? To 10. So for you set a standard. For us, we're going to be different. If we have to have minutes 2 days ahead of the meeting, then the secretary, you should send the minutes to us before we come. So those are small things, but those are what develops those skills, managerial skills, administrative skills, leadership skills, interpersonal skills. These are skills that make a leader, great leader, and it's a daily thing. But now no. If you are not doing it now, if you are failing to do it now at that small scale, when the monkey climbs, what will it do? Yes. All that you have failed now will be shown in public. People who become gold medalists, they don't become that day. They are already gold medalists. It's only that day they are recognized publicly. But that's what they have been. They have lived for that. Kiprotich, Kiprimo, what is the other key? They are always, Cheptegei, Kiprimo. They have been like that every day. Leaders set a high level of discipline for themselves. The time they wake up. While others are sleeping on, for them they're up. While others are having fish and chips, for them they say, no, I can't take those chips. It's junk food. So all that, the things you enjoy, Kiprimo, Cheptegei, who else? Chiprimo, Cheptegei, who else? Yeah? The Chipsilo. So while you're enjoying the sleep in the morning, Chiprimo is waking up in the night, and even when it is raining, you find him in you do that every day. So when he finally goes to England or whatever, and then is declared a gold medalist, it has taken years. Yes, yes, yes. Where others are sleeping, when a leader decides that I'm going to live, that's the part of conviction we're talking about. You live by conviction, not convenience. Those are the two things which will always fight you. Are you living by conviction or convenience? When you live by convenience, the easy thing, the easy one. Leaders live by conviction. They decide, no, this is convenient. I can go late and give an excuse. But I can decide to say no by conviction. For me, I must keep time. Well, if everybody else doesn't. Do you remember the two people in government who maintained that during their lifetime? One of them was Professor Nsibambi. Another was Chiseka, Samson Chiseka. You are not here. Most of you are young. But these two guys were trained and they lived during the British system. If you invited the Dr. Samson Chiseka and you told him 9 o'clock, 10 minutes, you see the vehicle. 9 o'clock is there. Sometimes you'd get embarrassed because our people, when you tell them 9 o'clock, that's when they start to bathe. Now, for him, you know that. That's why we keep bringing our level of leadership so down. And it becomes no more and no more and no more. Professor Nsibambi was always like that. Even when others couldn't, he would come in cabinet, and for him, he was always there on what? So you can decide to be different. You can choose it. And he said, for me, that's what I'm going to be. I'll keep time, because it becomes part of your character, and let alone part of your behavior and then character. You decide every single day to be the kind of leader that you want to be, and then you inspire so much of the people who will follow you. It's not because of the position, because of the level you live. You say, I'm not going to litter. Have you traveled with people in a car and they're littering, throwing bottles out of a beautiful Mercedes Benz? Somebody lowers there and, hey, for you, you decide I'm not going to what? No policeman, nothing for you. You are your own policeman within. Kindly touch your neighbor and say, I'm praying for you that you get that policeman in your heart so that we don't need to use the outward policemen. That policeman within. You have a policeman within. So that the discipline within becomes so strong, and then it raises your level of leadership. You don't say, do what I say, but not what I do. That's very wrong leadership. You should say what Jesus said. Jesus said, as I do, follow me. Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ. So meaning, the same standard I've set is what I want you to follow. So as leaders today, you decide it today. You choose. I'm going to live that kind of life that I want. I'll not say one thing and then do another. That is politicking. Politicking with, you can get a lot of following and what. But the real you know inside, I know what I'm living. That is hypocrisy. You create deception within. When you know that you're living another life and saying another thing, deception has already crept into your what? Your heart. You can't be bold. The Bible says the righteous are as bold as a lion, because you know what you are is what you are speaking. You are so bold. People wonder, where do you get that level of boldness? Because within you, there is no hypocrisy. Hypocrites are cowards. They can't stand for what they are saying. They know because they are not what they are saying here in the light. In the dark, they live a different life. In the light, they live a different life. That's the difference. When you live what you're the same in the dark, you're the same in the light. You are so bold. You have so much boldness. And that inspires so many people. It inspires people to follow you. It inspires them to sacrifice for you even when you're not there. They believe in their leader. They say, we know her. We can die for her. People can die for Jesus because they know his life. So, we're looking at competence and skills, then vocational skills, professional skills, excellence, good stewardship. Stewardship means even when it comes to time, for example, today you finish, some of you are going to finish university today. and you're going to get a job. People die for jobs. They cry. They do everything to get a job. When they get there, they don't want to work. These days, especially the younger people, they don't want to work. God said 6 days you shall labor. 1 day, you'll do what? They want to rest 6 days and work 1 day and still be paid. 6 days you shall labor, 1 day you rest. They want to work 1 day and rest 6 days. In fact, they want to start with the rest and then end with what? Work. That can't work. When you say, I'm going to be at place of work by 8 o'clock, be there at 8. Because according to contract, when you sign, I'm going to come 8 and leave at 5, with 1 hour of break in the individual, those hours are paid. You see, God has a calculation system of his. Every time you cheat, the money you get which you have not worked for, you cannot keep it. When we get some time, later I'll take a little bit more on that. You are paid to work those 10 hours. I'm just using 10 hours a day, and for the day you get 100,000. Each hour is 10,000. Every hour you cheat by coming late, you've cheated 10,000. If you spend it on WhatsApp, Wolokoso, Googling, so you are your boss is expecting you to work for those hours, and most of it is on Google, not for work but for personal things. You are cheating. You are cheating. So the total cumulative cheating at the end of the month, nobody knows how to calculate it. So they still pay you your 10 million or 6 million per month, but actually you only worked for 4. Or they pay you 5 million, but the one you worked for was only 3. The 2 million, you didn't work for it because you are in work or so, what? Every time the boss is coming, you go back to your computer as if you're breaking it, and she comes and everybody is busy. As soon as he goes out, you're good. Now, the whole time of the office, work that would have been finished in time is not. Reports which are supposed to have been filed are not. So we have a lot, the public service all goes down because people are not working. Others are lining outside. They are complaining. This guy, he comes late, he leaves early. So when you do that and you cause so much pain to many others in the position which you really desired to have, and you're causing pain to so many others, you have no idea how much the poor especially are crying because of the injustice. You go to the court. Somebody traveled, sold a goat to come to court. And they come there and the magistrate comes with the keys at 11. Next week. These people sold their goats to just come to get justice. And then you come in at 11, you leave at noon, or you come, and then you leave. So this is the kind of leadership I'm talking about. You are our hope, and that's why we are engaging. That if we can produce this kind of leaders in the universities, you guild leaders and the others that you're going to inspire, we have to raise the bar. Tell your neighbor, we have to raise the bar. We have to raise the what? Yes, we have to raise the bar. We start it now, not when you are there. No. Now, we went to Global Leadership Summit. We went to Atiak. I don't remember, when did we go to Atiak? Which year? 2020. So we had a 2-day engagement. So we had a hall like this one. We had 300 young people in Atiak. The first day we started, they were all against everybody. The elders in this place. They complained about, so when we started, we asked them what are the problem in Atiak. They listed their parents. Everybody was wrong. Government, they criticized except them. They were the only righteous. All the councillors, all the sub-counties. So we had an engagement. Then I started to take them through. By the time that the 2 days ended, so I said, who is the problem of Atiak? All of them put there, it is me. I am the what? I am the problem. From that moment, so we came back. Then we had, from that moment, they started to mobilize themselves. They decided we are going to stand for leadership. was it five? I think 5 of them got elected. And when they got elected, now they remembered all the lessons. They started to put in practice everything. They got all the corruptive vehicles that had been packed in these public servants. They brought all the border. This week, the place changed so fast. When we heard the story, we were just amazed. Actually, we have a clip of them talking in just those 2 days when they started to raise the level of their leadership, to take responsibility other than looking at others as a problem. The youth in nowadays, everybody is the problem. Their parents, they have not bought them iPhone. The iPhone they have is very old. It is 8. Now it is 14. They have every reason to complain. Huh? Everybody else is bad except them. And when you have a nation like that, the leaders who emerge will be just the offshoot of the society. It's a corrupted society who doesn't want to work. They're always entitled, what. They will never achieve anything. They cannot bring the change that we want. It's first of all saying, I am the one responsible. For me, I'm going to change my area. God doesn't change your environment. He changes you. When you change, your environment changes. That's the point. You change first before you change everybody else. Leadership is first you, self-leadership before others. So you change, you work on those areas that you think, I don't like this one, I don't like this one, I don't like this one, change those. Finally, you will change the community. That is the last one. Then you'll have compassion for the people around you, community responsibility, what we call patriotism, service, because your service will involve sacrifice. The leaders are supposed to be, look at the biblical principle of leadership. The biblical principle of leadership, you the leader, you are here, and the people are here. The leadership we have today, the leader is here with a very exorbitant lifestyle, and the people are carrying you. People are carrying you, and this is the biblical leadership where you live a life of what? Sacrifice. You are the one carrying. A good leader carries the weight of the needs, the problem. That's where sacrifice is. You take responsibility. Today, when you don't vote somebody, he says, I'm going to take away my ambulance and the boreholes that I gave you. Have you heard of that? So, did you love us in the first place when you were standing, really? Yeah? Those people who are selling their property to become whoever they are, do you think they are selling them because of their love for you? What is it about? About self. Now, that is the difference. So you decide from today, for me, I'm going to be different. So, now, this is the headlines. I'm ending with the headlines. That's a holistic approach. This is the software. We have a lot of hardware of mineral resources, oil, what. If we don't have the hardware, which is the holistic education, which covers the head, which is your conscious mind, with the part which is listening to me, then the soul, which deals with your subconscious mind. Subconscious is something you've had so much and then it gets into you. Even when you're sleeping, when you wake up. That is what has moved from the conscious mind into your subconscious mind. Number 3, your heart, character. You notice they all start with the C. Comprehension, conviction, character, competence, what? Compassion. This is what we'll be dealing with in these 3 days. That's what we're dealing with. The emerging leaders we're going to have in this country, they're this kind of leaders. They are